welcome to episode 59 of the Islanders podcast. My name is James.
And my name is Daniel.
I'm Minnie.
And my name's Yan.
Today we have a special friend with us.
Yes.
At the end of season 4, because today is our maybe like a little celebration.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, because we're welcoming season 5, where we will have many big changes and new topics and all that to share with you. Yeah. And so please enjoy today's 2 episodes. Today will be a little bit more fun than usual. You can see we have our celebratory whiskey here, and so this week is just for us to have fun. But before we have the real fun, it's time for Daniel and his little rant of Hsinchu City.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay. I know we have talked about Hsinchu for many times, but at least I want to provide our audience a deeper insight of our mixed feeling about Hsinchu. Because for me, Hsinchu is actually my second hometown, since we have living here for maybe more than 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so for listeners that not constantly following us, our episodes, so Hsinchu is the city now we're living in. It's actually in northern part of Taiwan, the island. Yeah, a bit more lower than the Taipei city. It's like a sub-city around Taipei.
Yes, because we are now a senior student here.
Yeah.
So we have living here for 4 years.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with the pros and cons of living in this city.
Mostly cons.
Yes.
And absolutely food.
Okay.
So you want to tell us first about the good parts of Hsinchu City before we get into all the nitty gritty.
Though many people view Hsinchu as food desert and recreation desert, but I only partially agree with these opinions.
Okay.
Because I can name several places that's really fun and have lots of good food. Here's some example. Because I like to visit some stylish stores in Southgate streets.
Stylish stores. So what kind of products do they sell?
Maybe some special dessert or some
desserts.
Yes.
You like desserts?
Craft beers mostly, or like coffee
stereotype.
shops.
A stereotype.
Yeah, I found Hsinchu recently. There's some stores that just continuing to bring out new products or like foods or like seasonal food products or like
I think Hsinchu is a good place if you're young and you want to start a business, like maybe like a coffee shop or a small beer bar. It's a good place for you to start because the population here is very young, and then they are willing to try new things, and they're very stylish. So hence we have a lot of these new stores that are attractive to young people.
Yes, and Southgate has lots of these new stores. And besides Southgate Street, the Central Market and the Chenghuang Temple is also very good. It sells several various types of meatballs and rice noodles and deli and our local cuisines.
Chenghuang Temple is like a staple of Hsinchu City. And as we've said in a lot of past episodes, like we talk about it a lot because it's the only place we can talk about. And so it has all the traditional Taiwanese cuisine, stuff like meatballs or like fried meatballs and noodles, fried rice, and stuff like that. So if you want to look for the most traditional classic Taiwanese cuisine, you can go to Chenghuang Temple.
Yeah, actually, this morning I've just got some rice dumplings in Central Market. So maybe if you haven't heard about rice dumplings, they're dumpling made of rice, and I think it's skinned with rice, and their soup they would eat together with soup. So I think it's very good. So make sure you try it out if you come to Hsinchu, or maybe if you go to Central Market.
And also you can find various kind of food in the Northgate Street. Yes, and also you can go to the Eastgate Market to enjoy some exotic foods and very attractive atmosphere there, because it combines both old and new features of the city together.
So what Daniel is talking about is mostly the old part of the city.
Yes,
because like we have this a very big like gate inside of in our city center, and then there are like North Gate and then South and East and West gates.
4 gates.
So like in old times, there are city walls around the Hsinchu city, so there are roads named after some gates, right?
Yes, and also just few months ago, Jen filmed a video kit about daily things in Hsinchu. So I remember that that video actually causes some impact on social media.
A few people watched it, the video of Hsinchu, and I was embarrassed because I showed the very good parts of Hsinchu.
Yes.
And I neglected all the bad parts of Hsinchu. So I didn't tell people about the bad parts of Hsinchu, which I should have.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to rectify that by talking about
some bad parts.
I have to say, this place we just mentioned about are fairly close, so you can travel all this place by your foot.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious about why the Hsinchu did not become a popular tourist attraction.
Because it's very beautiful, all these places.
Yeah.
It's very good for street photography. Like if you're into filming like old buildings or like old people.
Yeah, and daily scenes or walking
passengers. It's a very, very good
yeah.
place for you to go and try and practice photography.
Yeah, Hsinchu has so much charm, but still people view Hsinchu as food desert and recreation desert.
Yeah.
I was quite puzzled about these questions, but after I traveling around the Taiwan by motorcycle, I think that I start to realize the reason of these accusations.
Okay, so you figure out some clues. Right?
Yes, I think the traffic is a key.
Yeah.
Traffic. Okay.
Yes.
So before we start talking about anything, I wanted to share my experience on shooting around Hsinchu, shooting that video around Hsinchu, right? So I was in a old city center, like we said, and then shooting photos and videos all around Hsinchu.
Yeah.
And I almost got hit like 3-4 times by cars.
So
it's very impossible for you to find, places to walk.
Yeah,
and it's very, very complicated traffic-wise.
Yeah, and car accidents in Hsinchu so often.
Yeah, so I think that's the main part we're going to talk about. But first, let's talk about other cities.
Yes, I want to compare all the cities because during my trip, I visited Tainan and Jiayi City.
So both of them are in the southern part of Taiwan?
Yes, and these two cities is also ancient cities.
Yeah.
Old cities in Taiwan.
Like Hsinchu.
Yeah.
So, but this city actually are quite popular with tourists.
Tourists, yeah.
Yes, because they also have much beautiful temples and foods and some stylish stores.
Yeah, if you
a lot of culture in there.
A lot of culture and charm. But why they become popular tourist attraction, but Hsinchu is still a food desert and recreation desert?
Yeah.
I think the sidewalk is actually the key point.
Okay, sidewalks.
Yeah, and that's the point that we can't just look through. So maybe we will feel like Hsinchu is bad at food or bad at like recreational activities, but actually there's sidewalks problem.
Yes, because all these delicacy and stores are hid in narrow alleys.
Yeah.
Yes, they are not quite accessible by foot.
So they're like good points everywhere, but they're not connected. Good dots everywhere, but they're not connected.
Yeah, so you can hardly find a safe route to connect all these dots.
Okay.
Yes.
So I remember when I was little, I used to watch a lot of like movies or like books or TV shows about America.
Yeah.
And then I was always confused why they had a small road beside the main road. Because in my life experience, I had no experience with sidewalks. Not only in Hsinchu, but also in my city, Taoyuan, which was just next door.
Yeah.
There's this common problem that we don't really have land for sidewalks.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that was quite an eye-opening experience for me to learn that other countries actually have places for people to walk, specifically for people to walk. Yeah.
And the sidewalk is the main reason why I hate Hsinchu so much. And in my opinion, I would rate a city in this way. Does this city have sidewalks? How's the transportation system in this city?
Okay.
Because I believe that the charm of city can only be appreciated by the pace of walk. Walking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, as we talked about walking, I think today our friend has a lot of experience with walking, and so maybe she wants to share her thoughts on maybe like walking. Do you feel like it is the best way to see something?
Yeah, like for me, I can't ride motorcycles, and I don't drive. I don't have driver license for both motorcycles and cars. So the only way for me to explore Hsinchu, since I'm also studying here, is by walking or by riding bicycles. Yeah, but for me, I also feel like it's really dangerous to walk on the roads. Yeah.
But I think the bike are the same problem as sidewalks, right? You don't have like specific lanes for bikes to ride on.
Yeah,
you have to ride to get to just beside those cars and motorcycles.
Yes, you'll be at the
very center of the road, like riding beside the road.
And that's dangerous, and you can't enjoy very well.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I have a feeling of inferiority when walking between the gap between roads and building. It's like it's a road for cockroaches, you know?
It's too narrow for anyone to pass.
And normally when there's sidewalks, around the roads, there are normally motorcycles parked on them.
I think that's the main problem as well.
That is the one problem that I hate the most, because there's always motorcycles, riding on sidewalks and trying to find a parking space.
And that's against the regulations, right?
As a pedestrian, it's very annoying when they are out often at your back, and then they try to pass you to find a parking space, and there is no safe place for you to walk. And even like in the city center market, like we said, there's a road inside for motorcycles to pass, which I find is very strange and very bad policy for Hsinchu City.
Yes. So
as motorcycle riders yourself, what do you think about this issue?
Actually,
because you ride motorcycles all across Hsinchu City, so you're part of the problem.
I admit I'm also part of the problem. I ride motorcycles. I ride scooters too.
Yeah,
I think the reason why I think the arrangement of the road is the main issues.
Yeah, I think the design of the road itself. Just the city plan itself was flawed in some aspect.
Yeah, because there's like some weird bridges in Hsinchu. You guys have discovered that.
Yeah,
right?
and also like the border between our city and the next city. There's one huge bridge that has multiple.
That's crazy.
Multiple roads, and it's very hard to find your way around here.
That's like veins. They just cross across each other. The roads are cross each other, and upper bridge and downward bridge. They just cross.
And if you go the wrong route, then you end up in the beach. End up next to the beach. So that's that's
crazy.
Quite confusing for people, especially for people if you're not born in Hsinchu. For me, if I drive around the city,
it's like a puzzle.
It's horrible.
And I believe because the traffic there is so bad, so there's too many commuters, they have to pass through that bridge. So I think they don't have any room for them to renew all the problems of the road. So they just add some adjustments, and they just alter something and end up a mess.
Like if they close down the bridge for 1 week, the whole city would have to close down.
Definitely.
Because so many commuters from the neighboring city, they have to come to city because Hsinchu is so big a technology town. So a lot of the commuters have to come here. So if we were to fix the traffic problem, we would have to fix the whole city.
I think the reason why Hsinchu City still have no sidewalk is because it's really difficult to negotiate with property owners to build sidewalks. And I would say Hsinchu is actually a city owned by engineers. And engineers do not care about this issue because they drive cars, they ride motorcycles, they are not pedestrians. So this problem are not
still unsolved.
They don't have any problems with this. And another sayings I've heard about is that because the central part of Hsinchu City was actually an ancient and very old town, right? So the most of the roads and buildings are built in the Qing dynasty, back to the time when Taiwan was ruled by the Qing dynasty,
nearly 200
years ago. So at those times they don't have vehicles, they don't have automobiles, so they just designed the road for only pedestrians to walk on. But after 200 years, the roads are used by those cars and those drivers, and
motorcycles mostly.
Yeah.
And I find it very hard to have compassion with motorcycle riders. It's because they're a big pain of my daily life, and then so that's why I find it's very hard to sympathize with them.
Yeah, as a motorcycle rider myself, I just cannot support all those motorcycles riders that's they break the regulations and laws, and they just don't respect other drivers on the lane. Yeah.
Yes, when I am a motorcycle rider, I hate pedestrian. But when I am pedestrian, I also hate those riders.
Yeah, you can't have everything.
It's about perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, is Hsinchu still curable?
Okay.
Can this issue be solved?
So is there any signs you found that maybe the city of Hsinchu is somewhat changing?
Yes, I found because about 1 month ago, Hsinchu held an event which is Taiwan Design Expo.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That one's really good. Yeah.
That expo actually opened my eyes because in this activity they arrange a city corridor across Hsinchu City. It connects Hsinchu Park and the East City Gate and the Old City Moat. I found out that because this path is well arranged, they have sidewalks all the way.
Yeah.
So in the August, in the autumn, you can enjoy the warmth of sunshine and the crispy feeling of breeze, and walk on these sidewalks and enjoy the beauty of the old city.
Yeah.
It's really cozy and wonderful.
But they had to close down the roads for that to happen, and that's why it cannot happen every day.
Yeah.
And so that's still a big problem for Hsinchu City.
Yes.
And I don't really know if there is a fix for it.
Yeah, but we can see that governors knows the problem. Where's the problem, and they try to fix it by holding some events like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Just like once you fix one part, then you have to fix
Another
mainly the
part.
whole city, because the whole city is so old. Then you can't just
you can just fix one part. You cannot renew all things together
At the same time.
Yeah, so from this event, I know that if Hsinchu has sidewalk, it will be much better city.
Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty much my conclusions.
Yeah, and I think another great part of this design expo is that they provide actually an app and service that you can look for where to go in Hsinchu, and also the traffic ways to get there. You can take bus, you can take. You can ride bikes, or you can just walk there. So
the problem with the government is that they give you like a temporary good week that you have a very good experience with Hsinchu, but then when you live here, you actually feel that
sucks.
Feel the pain. Feel the pain.
Keep it so sweet.
Yes. But that is a bigger problem than
hard problem.
we can solve, right? Yeah.
Yes. I know from news that the city government is building a new sidewalk in some roads, so maybe it's a good sign. It's a good start.
Hopefully, they're forbidden the motorcycles to park there. Yeah, that is the main point. Because I think we do have sidewalks, like near our house here. We have sidewalks, but they are still flooded with motorcycles, like 60-40, and with 60 being motorcycle park. And that's really annoying.
But there will be another problem here is that their motorcycle, they have motorcycles, they have to park somewhere.
Where can they park?
So where can they have to build a parking lot or something? So I think, that's the hard part of making city policy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say just destroy the motorcycles. But, that's all from me. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And see you on our social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and all that. Yeah, and we'll see you next week. Bye.